So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. And in today's video, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm sure many of you have been wondering why I've been waiting so long to do the Philadelphia 76ers, and for those of you who cannot figure it out, it's because I'm waiting for a James Harden trade. It's felt inevitable at this point that James Harden is not going to be with the Sixers, although yesterday actually tried to board the team plane and security kicked him off. I have no idea what the hell is going on with James Harden right now. Obviously requested a trade, was away from the team for a while, and now is trying to play and they just won't let him. So I don't know what's going to happen. Knowing my luck, obviously the day I post this, he'll probably be traded 2 days later. We'll have to redo this. But for me, James Harden and the Sixers are probably not a good match anymore. I'm assuming he's probably going to get his trade at some point or another. Feels like Daryl Morey is just kind of being a little bit of an asshole right now. So for me, there's obviously some problems with this team moving forward. Who knows what's going to happen with Joel Embiid. Obviously, our goal today is to bring Philadelphia that championship. And with this Sixers rebuild today, this is the final regular rebuild. We have done all 30 teams. If you guys want to go see me rebuild your favorite team and you have not, just go back on my channel. All 30 teams are there. Other than that, man, we're looking for some new series to do. Obviously, there are some of the ones that I do every single season, but we're mostly trying to get into some new things. So if you guys have anything you really want to see, make sure to let me know down below in the comment section. But yeah, man, I watched the Sixers and Bucks games last night. I'm not going to talk about the referees. I hate that shit, especially one game into the season. But yeah, I thought the Sixers looked really good. Kelly Oubre looked great. And we'll talk about it a little bit more once we do get into the video. But I don't know. I feel like the Sixers could be good this season. We'll see. Let's get into it. We'll quickly jump into this Philadelphia 76ers roster. Obviously, last season kind of lost in heartbreaking fashion to the Celtics after being up 3-2. Couldn't close them out in Game 6 on their home floor, and then absolutely got the shit kicked out of them in Game 7. But obviously, this is still a talented team. There's still a lot of talent here. Obviously, the reigning MVP in Joel Embiid. You still have Harden on the roster. Tyrese Maxey is an incredible young player, and I like it. I do. I genuinely think that if this team just hypothetically played together this season, I think they could make some noise. Now, is that noise going to be another second round of playoff exit? I don't know. It's very possible it could be. But I like this team. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with James Harden. 34 years old, obviously opted into that player option instead of opting out. Now, could have opted out, maybe gotten some money from some other team. But the thing is, that team was not going to be a good team. There were no good teams this offseason with like real James Harden cap space. So I understand why he opted in. And again, him, publicly saying Daryl Morey's a liar and never going to play for any team that he's under again. I understand that. People have the right to be pissed off, but James Harden's still an elite player. I don't know where this narrative's coming from, that James Harden just sucks all of a sudden. Didn't he lead the league in assists last year? He's very good. I have no idea what I'm going to do with him. I literally have not made up my mind yet. Patrick Beverley actually looked pretty decent in some moments last night in Milwaukee. Now, Patrick Beverley, obviously hard-nosed defensive player, not exactly the vile offensive threat that you would kind of maybe look for at some point in time, but there's a lot of offense on this Philly team. I like Patrick Beverley. He's a fun guy. The shooting guard spot. I've gone over Tyrese Maxey. I'm a big Tyrese Maxey fan. He's 22 years old at an 85 overall. He's definitely going to be one of the building blocks for this team today. The Anthony Melton is here. Could be a sixth man for us throughout this video. Pretty solid bench piece. Korkmaz is probably not going to see the floor. Might even be trade year one. Pretty sure he actually requested a trade. I think he's actually requested a few by this point. Jaden Springer's here. Had a big block last night, if my memory serves me correctly. The small forward spot. Tobias Harris looked good last night. For me, Tobias Harris probably not a 3-year player in this video. He's 31, making basically $40 million a year. I don't know. We'll see. Kelly Oubre Jr. looked absolutely incredible last night. I'm surprised it took, a team so long to sign Kelly Oubre Jr., and he was a very, very good fit with that team. Now, obviously, that's not going to be every game where he's putting up whatever it was, 27 points. But, for me, he's a solid bench piece. Danielle House is here. You have Danny Green here as well, obviously longtime NBA veteran. Power forward spot, I don't want to say it's the weakest position on this team, but it probably is. Paul Reed is a good player. Obviously, he went ahead and matched the contract that he got from Utah this offseason. He's a 76 overall. We'll see. PJ Tucker is here. Still kind of that 3-and-D presence for them. Those corner threes are killing me, man. They really are. And then Philip Petrusev, I'm not going to pretend I know much about. The center spot, obviously reigning MVP, Joel Embiid, 96 overall. He's not going to go anywhere today. Now, in real life, I think if the Sixers, make a James Harden trade and they still suck this year, get bounced in the first or second round of the NBA playoffs, I think it's maybe at that point time to explore an Embiid trade. I mean, the guy's going to be 30 years old, and he hasn't gotten out of the second round. It might be time for some changes. I don't know. Just my thought. And then Mo Bamba is here. He's, I don't know, good backup center. I don't know. We definitely have some trades, though. Whether it's going to be Harden or not, I have not decided. But if we do, it's obviously a major move. So hang with me. Our first trade's going to come with Sacramento. It's not the big James Harden trade you guys were looking for, but it's sending Korkmaz Green and a second-round pick to Sacramento for Sasha Vesnikov and a 2026 first. Obviously, really doing this deal to get the first-round pick, but Sasha Vesnikov, interesting release. I will say that on his three-point shot. But yeah, obviously that's deal one. It's not the major Harden trade that we were looking for. Now, I did look at offers for James Harden, and I'm torn. I'm genuinely torn on what to do because I'll kind of go through all of them. I know it's going to take a while, but I'll go through all of them. It's going to be pretty quick, actually. Not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. I just don't think that makes much sense. Definitely not going to happen. These actually are different from the ones I saw originally. But the one I really, really want to do, where the hell is it, is this one here. I mean, I don't know why I'm getting offered Anthony Edwards right now for James Harden. I mean, it makes no sense. I know it's an unrealistic rebuild, but it just feels like kind of a weird spot to kind of kick off this video. So what I'm thinking I'm probably going to be doing is I'm going to not trade for Anthony Edwards right now as much as my heart really wants me to, because Anthony Edwards is obviously incredible. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang on to James Harden for a season, and then we're going to do a sign and trade in the offseason. So might not be, I guess, the best thing to do. I think it's more likely than not that Philadelphia moves him probably prior to the trade deadline, if not at the trade deadline. But I don't know. This is obviously not a realistic rebuild, but that just feels like it's, I don't know, almost out of the picture crazy. So I don't know. We're not going to do that. That's kind of a long-winded explanation. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's maybe one or two other trades. Like Vesnikov's multi-year. He's going to stay here. I don't really need Daniil House. So I mean, if anybody wants to give me a draft pick, I'll definitely take it. I mean, he's just not going to see minutes. It's basically kind of the simplest way to put it. And I'm not really seeing many draft picks. I mean, this is one right here. I guess I'll do this with Cleveland. Yeah, but I mean, other than that, there's not really going to be many trades. I mean, I'm probably going to have to decide who I want to start here between Reed and Tucker. I think Tucker's probably a better fit, and I think Reed has a little bit more potential. So let's set the rotation. So the thing that's going to be kind of awkward about this Philadelphia team, not only in this rebuild, but in real life as well, is that they're still a good team. Although they've never really kind of gotten over that hump of the second round of the playoffs. I'm not saying this to make fun of them or anything. They're still a really talented team. So that's where it's a little bit different from other James Harden situations. When you think back to his trade request from the Houston Rockets that sent him to Brooklyn, Houston was really not a top tier kind of threat in the Western Conference at that point. They were still a decent team, I guess, but they were really never going to be any sort of contender. I think this Philadelphia team is still a contender in the Eastern Conference. I stand by that. So that's kind of the weird part right now with the James Harden request, is that it's not really a team thing or a roster construction issue. It's really just Daryl Morey. So for me, I don't really know what's going to happen with him in real life. As I mentioned, I kind of went through my game plan with him today in today's video. We're going to probably do a sign and trade at some point, but it feels weird. It really does, because James Harden's still a really good player on a pretty good team. So that's where my issue kind of lies, on confusion anyways. Not an issue with James Harden, just a little bit of confusion. But him and Maxey obviously in the backcourt. You got Harris here at the 3. I'm starting Tucker at the 4. I think it's a little bit of a better fit. If Paul Reed had some crazy potential to be, mid 80 overall player, I'd probably throw him in the starting 5. I think he'll probably max out at a 78, 79 overall. So who cares? I think Tucker's a better fit. And then Embiid obviously at the center spot. Bench unit, Kelly Oubre Jr. going to be the 6th man, followed by DeAnthony Melton. You got Paul Reed, Mo Bamba, and then Patrick Beverley. So I mean, it is a talented roster. You have experience, you have young talent, you obviously have an MVP. I mean, there's really a lot of good things going on here for the 76ers. It's just a shit show right now. That's the nicest way to describe it. So I don't know, man. We're going with the plan I kind of set in motion. It's going to be a sign and trade with Harden, and we'll go from there. But obviously year 1 coming up, I think it can be a good season. I'll see you guys at the end of it. It was a very good first season for us here in Philadelphia. We won 66 games. I mean, that's just absolutely insane to think about, with how the mentality was going into this year. Now obviously that doesn't really translate to 2K, but Sixers were really good here. Nikola Jokic, MVP. It's third of his career. Victor Wembanyama, Chris Paul, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Taylor Horton Tucker. You don't always see that. SGA, and then Nick Nurse does win Coach of the Year his first year here in Philadelphia. So I'm assuming 66 wins is a 1 seed. It was. We were 13 games up on the Bulls. Interesting scenarios here in 2K today. All right, let's take a look at the stats on the year, see how everybody played together. Embiid, obviously, just incredible. James Harden, again, around 23.5 points, 11 assists, 6. I mean, this is all you can really ask for. 52% from the field, and what do you shoot from? 44% from 3, basically. I mean, I'm fine with all this. He's still very, very good. The issue is really just Daryl Morey at this point. Tyrese Maxey was a great third option. Kelly Oubre Jr., Tobias Harris again. I kind of opened the video by saying this. I don't really see him as a long-term option here. And yeah, there's the numbers from the rest of the other guys. So Embiid obviously led us in boards and assists. Was Mr. James Harden, the beard. All right, who's it going to be round one? God, can you imagine this first round matchup? Us and the Miami Heat. Last season, the Miami Heat beat the 1 seed as the 8 seed. They added Kevin Porter Jr., all right, and John Collins. Not sure where those two came from, but nonetheless, they are now members of the Miami Heat. Let's see, can we get by them here in round one and avoid Miami pulling off the 8-1 upset for the second straight year? We're fine. We move on to round two. Celtics and Bucks went to 7. Bucks got the best of them, and yeah, Damian Lillard and Giannis. Probably the best duo in all of basketball. I mean, it's just insane. It really is. And let's go through this series right now. I don't know. Can we win? We're up 2-1 at this point in time. They tie it up 2-2. We go up 3-2. We actually win at 6. 2K thinks the Sixers are a better team than Bucks. All right. I'm here for it. Here's a look at the Cavs. Obviously, we all know throughout, all these Eastern Conference rebuild and even Western Conference when I face them in the finals, just how much 2K really does love the Cavs. So can we beat them? Can we go to the finals here in year one? I mean, we already got out of the second round. Feels like an accomplishment, and we're in the finals. And we're going to be taking on LeBron James and, yeah, the rest of the Lakers. So, I mean, it's not an easy matchup, but none of the other matchups have really been easy anyways. We've kind of won them all relatively convincingly. So, I don't know. Can we get a championship here in year one? I think it's a possibility. We do go down 2-0, make that 3-0. And, yeah, I mean, okay, hang with me for a second. Are we going to bounce back a little bit? Okay, maybe not. I might have got ahead of myself a little bit too much. I don't think we're going to be coming back in this one, folks. I think this is probably all she wrote for us. And, yeah, LeBron gets another championship and another finals MVP. So, I don't know. Will he retire? We'll see. But nonetheless, a championship run and, well, I mean, an NBA finals run in year one is great. LeBron does call it a career. Wow. Goes out on a high note. That's insane. Staff retirements. You got Popovich going down. 2 GOATs. Wow. LeBron also is, yeah, inducted into the Hall of Fame. Surprise. Draft lottery. We're not going to have a lottery pick. I don't think the Sixers have traded for any lottery potential picks. And, yeah, let's just sim through that real quick. So, Nick Nurse has, I'm pretty sure, good ratings. Yeah, he has pretty good ratings and obviously leading us to a finals, especially in a year like that. Going to stay our head coach. So he'll remain here. Let's head up to the draft right now and just see what our situation is looking like in terms of draft picks. We have number 29 and then number 30. So nothing incredible here. We also don't have a lot of future assets. It's just definitely something to, keep in the back of our minds if we want to pull off a big trade at some point or another. So it's definitely something to, keep an eye on. But other than that, a lot of guys are expired. So definitely going to have to be paying close attention to that. I don't know what I'm going to do with this draft pick yet, so hang with me. We're going to do this deal here with Phoenix and just trade away our 2 draft picks this year for a future first-round pick. Again, it's not a super valuable pick or anything, but it's still a draft asset. And I could have moved up, but with a contending team like this, I don't really think anybody super young is going to help us. So we have no team player options, so let's get ready for a pretty interesting free agency. Terquavion Smith, probably not. Tyrese Maxey, 100%. And, yeah, I mean, obviously we kind of opened with the fact that there's a possibility for a James Harden sign and trade. He has 8 offers at this point. None of them are great offers. I mean, you see 96 interest there from the one from the Toronto Raptors, but for me, I think he'll probably accept ours. And then, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we're probably just going to turn right around and trade him. So I do want to get Tyrese Maxey on a long-term contract as well. And then Tobias Harris, probably a guy I can sign and trade with. Also, I'm going to give him around $21 million just so we can kind of match it up with maybe some bigger deals. So all 3 of those guys except Melton is gone, Oubre's gone, Bamba's gone. I mean, this is definitely something to keep our eye on because I think these are all very important players for us. So if I can get Melton and Oubre back, it's going to be a really big win for me. But obviously worried about the kind of these big 3 here first. And, yeah, don't renounce any of them. And let's see what we got. I mean, do we have the money to bring them back? And, yeah, I mean, it's going to let me bring Melton back. It's going to let me bring... No, it is not. So that is unfortunate in terms of me... am I just missing him? Oh, shit. Did he sign somewhere else? Where's Kelly Oubre? Yeah, he went to Memphis on a 3-year deal. Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate, but you know what? It is what it is. I do want to get Melton back as well. I think Kelly Oubre was a really good kind of piece for us. I mean, just unfortunate. He ended up going elsewhere, so it is what it is. Now comes the decision, what do we do with Tobias Harris and James Harden? Obviously, Harden especially was incredible for us in year one. I just know that his regression is going to kick in, and he might not be as incredible. So now is the time when I'm going to probably be super unrealistic, make whatever trade I want, and we'll go from there. So we have like 10 trade offers for James Harden, and I am debating between a lot of them right now. I'll just say that. They're all incredible offers, and again, I don't necessarily have to trade James Harden, but when, he's 34 going on 35, that overall is going to go down. I know it. So I'm going to go with probably one of the young pieces here. I'm thinking it's probably going to be LaMelo Ball. He's not a guy I trade for a ton. I do get Trae Young sometimes. I get Garland a decent amount. LaMelo Ball is kind of leading for me right now. This is also another really good trade that I was considering taking from Sacramento. I just don't know how well Sabonis and Embiid would fit. And also, like, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is great. I just get him a decent amount as well. So I would love Jamal Murray potentially. I mean, this is another option for me. Halliburton would be incredible. I really considered getting Anthony Edwards, but there's just no way I'm including Tyrese Maxey in any sort of deal. So, yeah, man. I mean, right now I'm basically between Halliburton, maybe Murray, I mean, maybe this one, or LaMelo Ball. I mean, that's just kind of what it comes down to. I mean, if we look at some numbers, LaMelo was really good. I'm sure Fox was great, and Sabonis was really good as well. It's just tough because it's very rare that I get so many offers that I like so much. So this one would kind of kill two birds with one stone. I was probably going to trade Tobias Harris anyways. I don't know. I'm like genuinely torn right now. Now, obviously, this would be getting the two best players in the deal. And we kind of still do need a power forward at this point, but who's our small forward then? Yeah, man, I'm torn. I genuinely am, and I'm sorry this is taking so long. I'm just going to go with this one here. We're just going to do a swap with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Maybe not the most intriguing one, but yeah, they're both NBA champions, so welcome. Let's figure out some more deals. We're going to talk to the Los Angeles Lakers, the team that just beat us in the finals, and see their level of willingness to maybe trade us Jared Vanderbilt. He'd slide into the starting power forward spot. Wouldn't necessarily be, you know, an elite offensive threat, but we already have a lot of offense going on in this team, and he would be an upgrade at the power forward spot. So Springer, Vesnikov, and Dean Wade is my offer. They don't all have to be in here to make the money work, but I don't really need them anyway, so more trade value, the better. I did not think they were going to necessarily take that. I don't have a ton of draft picks, unfortunately. I'm hoping maybe we can just get this done with, like, shit. Would I give up 2 firsts? I mean, I probably would, but that's about as far as it's going to go. And yeah, I went through. So excited to have Jared Vanderbilt here. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's young. He's good. I think he fits this team well. It's just definitely a hefty price to pay because, yeah, we don't have a big bench anymore. So right now we do need to figure out our backup point guard, our backup small forward, and our backup center with, yeah, not a lot of money here in free agency. So I might even sign Alec Burks, play him at the backup 3. He is 6'6". It's not a terrible option right there. I see Mo Bamba still in, or we still have a hold on Mo Bamba. We do not have money to bring him back. So it's going to be a Hernan Gomez video. Again, whoever's backing up Embiid's likely only playing 10 minutes anyway, so not the end of the world. And then, we have to figure out a backup point guard. It's not going to be a great bench here for year 2, but that's kind of something we just have to accept and because we made some pretty big upgrades. So Chris Dunn, welcome to Philadelphia, hopefully. All right. The bench is going to kind of suck, especially 8 through 10. It is what it is. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. Last year, we won 66 games, made it all the way to the NBA Finals, and came up a little bit short. Now, obviously, we made maybe a controversial decision to go ahead and trade away James Harden in the offseason, but for me, I don't think that overall was going up. He played incredible for us year 1, and it was probably the best resolution for both sides as it is. 'Cause I'm pretty sure, yeah, we traded him to Denver, so he's playing with Nikola Jokic now. He'll probably get over it. But Jamal Murray, obviously, here as our new starting point guard. We have Maxey, who's developing quite nicely here at the 2. New addition here, and Michael Never Swing the Rock Porter Jr. at the 3. Jared Vanderbilt was a nice pickup from the Lakers. And then obviously Embiid. So it's an extremely talented starting 5, and I think it's one that fits together relatively well. We have D'Anthony Melton here as our 6th man off the bench, Alec Burks, Paul Reed, Billy Hernan Gomez, and Chris Dunn. So, you know, maybe 9 and 10 on the bench are a little bit weak. It's not the end of the world. They're not playing a ton of minutes anyway. So 66 wins and a finals appearance last year. Hopefully this is a championship year for us here in Philadelphia. I will see you guys at the end of year 2. I think we've made some of the correct decisions so far. Obviously a tough choice to trade James Harden this offseason, but we have our best record yet at 73-9. So tying the greatest record in NBA history, and it is a second MVP season for Joel Embiid. Nikola Topic is your rookie of the year. Dude, the Miami Heat have this sort of like black magic wizardry that they pull out of their ass, and all of these players turn into like all-stars. It is fucking ridiculous. Tonight, my Celtics play the Miami Heat. Obviously, the last time the Celtics and the Heat played didn't end very well for me. I was very sad, and it very much hurt myself. I don't know who's going to go off tonight, but I have a prediction that RJ Hampton's going to like drop 30 on me from like 60% true shooting. It's just a gut reaction. I just have a feeling it's probably going to happen. Men Thompson, 6th man of the year. Giannis is your depoy. Victor Wembanyama, most improved. Jokic is clutch player of the year. Nick Nurse, 2nd straight coach of the year. 73 wins. Obviously, as I mentioned, tying the best record in NBA history. So that does give us the best record in the league this year, obviously. And yeah, let's take a look at the numbers before we do get in the playoffs. We have 3 guys over 20 points a game. Michael Porter Jr. at 17 as well. And then we see a little bit of a drop off, but obviously that is as expected. I like it. I mean, this team fits well together, and obviously 73 wins is incredible. So, yeah, I mean, in history, it hasn't gone very well for the Sixers against the Celtics. Now, obviously, it looks like the team's a little bit different. No more Drew Holiday, and, yeah, I mean, no Al Horford, it looks like. So, they're still good, obviously, with the Jays and Porzingis. I think we can beat them, though. I think this is finally the time Philadelphia gets the best of Boston. Can we do that? We win in 5. Beautiful. Moving on to the Bulls here. I think we're a 2 seed last year, if my memory serves me correctly. Now, don't get me wrong. I've said this before a million times. The Bulls need to blow it up. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I think it's a pretty easy win. Thank you. And now moving on to the team we beat in the conference finals last year, who have now added Klay Thompson. Awesome. How much money? $31 million for Klay Thompson. Where are you pulling $31 million out of? Darius Garland? I'm pretty sure he's getting paid already. He is. Donovan Mitchell obviously getting paid. Coral's on a rookie contract, I'm assuming. Mobley's still, well, that's probably why. That's just fucking ridiculous. Oh, shit, I didn't mean to do that. All right, we're down 2-1 at this point. We go down 3-1. Oh, my God, don't do this to me. Game 7? No, fuck me, dude. God damn it. All right, what I think we have to do now is maybe just improve the bench a little bit. I'm hoping Donovan Mitchell departs Cleveland this year in free agency. Oh, it's funny, Chris Paul went back to New Orleans. I'm hoping at this point, anyways, that Donovan Mitchell departs, because these pesky little Cavaliers are going to be a problem again next year, and I think what we have to do is really just bolster the bench. So if we have those two things going for us, I think it'd be a very good third and final year. I think Nick Nurse is still the guy. I mean, 2 back-to-back coaches of the years, 2 long playoff runs. Just can't quite get it done. So no draft picks this year. That's fine. We're not going to draft anybody today. I think that's more than acceptable for a team like this. So let's take a look. We have no qualifying offers here. In terms of free agency, obviously there are a lot of incredible players. It looks like Tatum's going to go back to the Celtics. Mitchell is not going to be going to Cleveland. At least doesn't look like it. Looks like he wants to take his talents to play next to Luka. Shit. And then Jimmy Butler looks like he's going to sign it with the Heat. Yeah, I mean, I just don't have money, but Jimmy would be fun. So Jamal Murray is a free agent. He has one offer right now. It's from the Hornets. Just fucking stupid. I don't know why 2K does those like mid-level exception kind of like fake bullshit contracts. Like, why do you even offer? Like, nobody accepts them. Just dumb. But obviously getting Jamal Murray back is huge. He's a very important piece of this team. And yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, we're looking to make upgrades on the bench. So in terms of free agents that we could maybe go out and sign, I don't love any of these options. I mean, maybe Drew Eubanks or Mo Wagner. I think Adams is going to regress a little bit. Boucher, probably not. Because here's my thinking process. I could maybe bring in Boucher and maybe move Paul Reed to the backup center spot. I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, I mean, I just don't love any of these free agents. You know what? Actually, I do like Jose Alvarado. Let's take a flyer on Jose Alvarado. I think he's an upgrade there over Chris Dunn. And then other than that, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit of a scumbag right now. I'm going to sign Gary Payton II, and I am also going to sign, let's see, Jock Londale. And we're going to trade both of those players and for one backup center. So, yeah, I mean, not my nicest or, you know, I don't think it's a great move. I think it is a little cheesy, but it's a move I need to make. So Drummond is here. He's 31. He's coming off a pretty good season. So bring Drummond maybe back to Philadelphia. Nick Richards also an option. Maybe a little bit younger. Maybe not as good, but a little bit younger. You know what? Fuck it. Actually, who was the 13th offer? I didn't see that. Yeah, it's no. All right. You know what? Let's go ahead and make a trade with the Hornets. We're going to pick up Nick Richards. Again, maybe not the significant upgrade that we were necessarily looking for, but he's good enough. And then what I am going to also do is I'm going to probably trade Alec Burks. Now, I think Burks is fine for us. Maybe he could be a more than good enough player for 6th, 7th, 8th man, whatever he may be. But he's 34, and I need to be as good as I possibly can be at every single position heading into a final year. So I'm just looking. Charles Bassey could bring him here back. Yeah. Grady Dick. He's 6'8". You know what? I might take a risk right now. Ooh, Malachi Branham. Yeah, maybe not. I want to get Grady Dick, but Malachi Branham's just sitting here staring me in the face. I have to do that. Sorry, Grady. All right, we're all set. I'm not making any other major changes. Melton 6'4", Branham 6'4". Jesus Christ, I'm all over the place. I'll see you guys at the start of year 3. We're ready to go here in year 3. We are still waiting to capture that elusive championship. Last season, we won 73 games and tied the best record in NBA history just to come up short in the Eastern Conference Finals. But have no fear. We have retooled this bench a little bit. The starting 5 is obviously still incredible. And I'm feeling pretty good heading into the final year. So Jamal Murray, Tyrese Maxey, Michael Porter Jr., Jared Vanderbilt, Joel Embiid. No surprises there. Bench here. Malachi Branham, DeAnthony Melton, Nick Richards, Jose Alvarado, and Paul Reed. So, yeah, man, this is it for me. I mean, 73-9 last year. I think this team's even better. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'll see you guys at the end of the final year. We win 68 games in our final regular season. Obviously, that is 5 worse than last year, but I'm never going to complain about a 68 win season. We go 66, 73, 68 in the 3 regular seasons here in Philadelphia. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, first career MVP. Dylan Harper's your rookie of the year. He is in New Orleans. Jaden Hardy had an incredible year off the bench in Dallas. Giannis is your depoy. Cody Williams, most improved. Trae Young, clutch player of the year. Nick Nurse, I think that's 3 straight coaches of the year. So, yeah, man, I think we're just at the point right now where we've done it all in the regular season. We just got to go ahead and do it in the postseason and kind of get over that final hump, which has been the case for the Sixers for so goddamn long. So here's a look at the numbers on the year. Obviously, everything is looking good. I mean, we just got to go out and fucking do it. So here's Atlanta. Trae Young's won clutch player of the year. I hope he shits his pants in this series because I want to win pretty easily. And we do. Moving on to Charlotte here. I mean, yeah, oh my God, this is crazy. The Paul George disrespect in this game is off the charts. And the Toronto Raptors here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I mean, again, it's good. A lot of defense there. We're taking on MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Josh Giddey's won Western Conference Finals MVP here in the NBA Finals. Can we get it done and win a championship in this video? I'm thinking we probably can. We're up 3-0. We're going to Oklahoma City here, try to close them out in a sweep. And that should be it. All right, man, we'll get up a couple shots. I'll see you guys in there, get a little bit of gameplay. Joel Embiid is on the verge of capturing that elusive championship. I am very happy that it is finally going to happen. And, yeah, man, I think this team ultimately, I mean, I'll chat about the Sixers in real life right now. I mean, I already made a lot of my points, but I kind of stand by what I said. I mean, in terms of, like, the James Harden saga is, you know, I know he's coming back from, you know, not being with the team for a long time and obviously trying to play in, like, the first game of the season for the Sixers is not exactly ideal. And, you know, you obviously have some worries if you do want to trade him at some point. What if he goes out and, like, gets injured or something, and then you're just fucked? So, I mean, I understand why they're doing that, but, I mean, if you're going to hold out James Harden for a while, which I don't know if they're going to do or not, it's not going to benefit your team. So, I mean, if the guy wants to play and, you know, he's not looking like he did in Houston when he requested the trade with the fat suit and all that shit, I think you should let him, because this is, at the end of the day, this is still a Sixers team that's competing for a championship. This is, again, a different situation from when he was in Houston and requested the trade, obviously ended up in Brooklyn. Like, these are not the same situations. Like, there's a reason that the Sixers have not, you know, completely blown it up yet. It's because they still think they can win with Joel Embiid and, you know, that core right there. And I think they, you know, they have a chance. I mean, they're still a good team. As much as you want to shit on Joel Embiid and James Harden for maybe dropping in the playoffs at times, which they do not get me wrong. I mean, that Joel Embiid, as a Celtics fan, I'll say this. That Joel Embiid Game 7 last year in the Eastern Conference semifinals was laughable. Like, I was, like, audibly laughing, like I'm sure the rest of Boston was. Like, just watching that. And probably all of NBA fans, except for Sixers fans. I mean, it happens year in and year out. And, again, we never know what's going to happen with Joel Embiid in the NBA, or not finals, in the NBA playoffs. I mean, we just don't. So I think you give it this year. Maybe you trade James Harden if, you know, you can't work out some sort of resolution and he actually will not play under Daryl Morey or whatever the situation is. But you brought in a new head coach in Nick Nurse, who I think is a much better option than Doc Rivers. Actually, I hate the fact that the Sixers brought in Doc Rivers, or the Sixers fired Doc Rivers, because now I have to listen to him on ESPN broadcasts with Mike Breen. It's fucking terrible. Getting rid of Van Gundy and Mark Jackson was the stupidest fucking thing ESPN could have done. Now, I know they fucked around a lot, but they were at least entertaining to listen to. Doc Rivers and Doris Burke is actually going to make me, like, suicidal. It's, like, literally the worst thing. It's like nails on a fucking chalkboard. Sorry. Sixers need to figure their shit out. I'll see you guys with the Finals MVP. Process complete. It is finally over. Joel Embiid wins his first career championship and his first career Finals MVP here in Philadelphia. So, yeah, man, what a way to cap off the regular rebuilds. I'm happy it was with a championship. If it wasn't, I would have been a little bit disappointed. Obviously, I gave a lot of my thoughts on the Sixers, both, you know, in real life and in this game, obviously, throughout this video. But, yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Sixers. You know, what do you think they should do this season? Should they try to, you know, kind of mend that relationship with James Harden, have him play out his contract in Philadelphia? Do you maybe go look to move him? I mean, again, I don't know what the Clippers are doing, not wanting to trade Terrence Mann. Like, why are the Clippers acting like Terrence Mann is some, like, all future NBA piece? Like, I don't know. That one's a little crazy to me. But for me, I have no idea what's going to happen. Obviously, this is kind of why everybody loves the NBA. There's always drama. There's always shit going on. So, nonetheless, it'll be fun. Let me know any other series ideas you guys have down below. I know you guys are always creative, always have some ideas for what you want to see. And yeah, I mean, obviously, we'll have the ones I do every year as well. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed all 30 regular rebuilds. I had a ton of fun doing them. And I'm looking forward to what's next. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all on the next one.